for us. And also, I think the challenge as an organization for us is going to be to address squarely the issues that the consumer has had the doubt on.
Right.
We're not walking away from that.
Mr. Narayanan, also what the crisis brought out was Nestle's, perhaps some would say, over-dependence on Maggi as the growth driver. 30%, 26 and 30% of your revenues come from there. Is that the key big learning? Because the Maggi impact even had on Nestle Group, in this region. Will that be now your next strategy to sort of perhaps de-risk your business model and develop other brands and lessen your dependence on Maggi, because it's going to take some time before Maggi is again widely available in in the country. So what will be the strategy be moving forward?
Sure, I think you're right, Ronajay. I firmly believe that Nestle has got a very wide portfolio, and it's a portfolio that can be clearly leveraged in the context of a growing market like India. And yes, I do take the point that there was a very strong pillar that Maggi represented. That will continue to be, of course, a driver of growth and acceleration for us in the coming years. But as I had mentioned in my first interview to Shireen when I first came on as the managing director of the company, that indeed we will look at the other parts of the portfolio as well, whether it is in milks or in coffee or in chocolates and confectionery, in order to accelerate our growth. So quite clearly, you will see from us, I think, a renewed energy and vigor on the other parts of the portfolio as well, in addition to, of course, building back Maggi consumer by consumer.
Just a few more points, Mr. Narayanan, before we wrap this up. Maggi has been the preeminent leader in this, in this noodle space, 65–70% market share. Sure. Have you lost ground, do you fear, having ceded ground now to some of your competitors?
Look, it's one fact is clear, Ronajay, that when a market leader is off the market for 5 months, there is clearly collateral damage to the entire category. So it's fair to say that the entire category has taken a beating because of what happened with Maggi. But on the other hand, I think each player, and as I always have said, that competition always energizes. It doesn't intimidate. And to me, I think it's if competition really comes in, and if competition is able to offer different value propositions to the consumer, there is no reason why this category can in fact grow, and there will be place for each one depending on the strength and valorization of their own propositions.
What will be your approach to sort of once again reclaiming the mind space that Maggi created because of the brand hit that Maggi has got? Sure. So what will be the strategy? More advertisements, more marketing initiatives?
There are 3 or 4 key things that we will do. Number one is to squarely address the issues on which the fears have been, and I think our advertising and our communication is going to address the issue on which the fear was, the whole issue of lead and what happened to it. That's going to be very clearly an area, and I believe that we have to invest time and effort around that. Then, of course, there is going to be engagement, a lot of engagement on digital. There's going to be a lot of engagement on activation, because one of the things, Ronajay, that I have been truly humbled by is the millions of people for whom Maggi has been like a friend. It's been part of their family. It has been part of their lives. I mean, I'm truly energized by the fact that for people, Maggi means so much.
Did you at any point in time think of engaging or roping in a brand ambassador for Maggi? Cadbury had done that with Amitabh Bachchan when it was facing issues. Did at any point in time that thought cross your mind, or do we see one in the coming weeks?
Ranjan, it's a bit like this. I think Maggi has meant so much to so many people. In fact, the brand has been highly socialized. So to think that one person might represent a whole generation on a brand is, I think, it's a little bit, it's not complete in terms of the entire thought process. So at the moment, the approach that we have taken is really, it's people like you and me, right? Okay, much younger people than me certainly, who are talking about the brand and who will continue to talk about the brand. And I think if you had that familial touch to it, there is a lot of traction that a brand can get. So at this stage, I think we will do with what we have, and let's see as we go forward what the future offers us.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Narayanan, for joining us on CNBC.